Long time no see. It's been hours.
That's right. Hours. That's it.
Yeah, we got to record on Sunday today.
Yep. So, what do we got for this very special recording?
I don't know. I mean, do you have anything? It seems like I'm always choosing the topics.
I'm fine with that.
All right. Well, here, let's start off with a banger. When do you replace your underwear, socks, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff?
When they have a sufficient number of holes in them.
Now, what is sufficient? This is the real question. That's the meat of it.
Mm,
And let's go one by one. Let's start with underwear. You know, that's the one that everybody wants to know.
is that the one everybody wants to know?
Yeah, that's the one that inspired it because I look at underwear and I'm thinking like, man, nobody can see it, so you could potentially wear it forever, except for the fact that, the holes eventually become large enough that they just don't have that support that you need.
I don't know. It's hard to say when sufficient is, when the number of holes is too much.
But it's also the size of the holes, right? Like if you had a bunch of pin sized holes, pinholes across the underwear, that would be fine. That's just aerating it.
Yeah, small holes are fine. Obviously, big holes are not. So there is a size somewhere there.
Like if it's big enough for one of the ass cheeks to fall out of it, that's too big.
That's a little too big. That's a little too big. Yeah, I don't know the exact size, but there's a time. I just threw out a pair yesterday, actually. So
Wow. Okay. Look at you.
that was one thing that happened.
That's a big deal. I find it really difficult to throw anything out, let alone clothing. Like I won't wear it, but I struggle to throw it out. It just sits there. It's clean. I put it in the wash and then never wear it, and so it's always clean, just sitting there and gnawing at my subconscious.
I maybe do that for bigger items. Like I have a pair of pants that are I don't know how they're stained, but they're stained. I think they got stained in the wash. Actually, I'm not sure how. They just look like they have big watermarks on them, but it's all over it. And
Maybe bleach.
bleach usually comes like I have a shirt that has bleach on it. Actually, I'm wearing it right now, and that usually turns the color of it though.
Yeah, it makes it like orangish, rusty
Yeah,
looking.
but makes it pink or orange. Yeah,
But the pants are maybe the material is different. That's why the bleach affects it differently.
yeah, maybe.
But you tried washing them again afterwards, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
did. Yeah, I mean I don't use bleach in my clothes, so
no, I
must have
just
been
mean
from.
just in
I mean,
general.
if it was bleach, yeah, could have been somebody else. But
Somebody's sabotaging your clothing. They're jealous of you.
well, I use a public
Well,
laundromat.
that's what I
Sometimes
mean,
you
right?
end up
Like
with
they go in
something that
there.
has something else in it.
Yeah, somebody goes in there, poisons it.
But so that's just kind of been sitting, hanging in my closet instead of throwing it out. Even though I don't think I have any intention to wear them again.
Because they're comfortable. Is that why you still like those pants?
I did like those pants, but I won't wear them anymore. Not with the stains on them. So
What if you stain them even more? What if you make them basically like camo pants by staining them even
no,
more? No, you
no,
still wouldn't wear them.
they're work pants. I'm not wearing camouflage pants.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what if you just have a whole get up and just say you were hunting and you didn't have a chance to change your clothing?
Yeah, I don't think so. So anyway, so bigger stuff, I don't know. I don't really throw out too much, but underwear and socks, I have no problem throwing those out. I also like to make sure I have another, like I've bought another, package of underwear before I start throwing things out.
Okay, you don't have a large reserve because I've accrued
I
so
mean, I
many
do. I
that
probably have like,
are still intact that I just have to keep cycling through them, even though I'm not, some of them are not as comfortable as other ones anymore, but they're still intact. There's no holes, so I keep wearing them.
well, I do have lots. I have like 2 weeks worth or something like that, but I still like to make sure that I'm replacing them as I throw them out.
You got to have some in reserve. It's like break glass to open situation. You have one of those.
So one thing I learned is because my underwear very often gets a hole in the exact same spot, kind of like where the leg meets the groin area.
All right. Okay.
Maybe
Just
a
on
little
one
bit
side
towards,
or like in
maybe
between?
yeah, just on one side. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's maybe towards the back a little bit, but that's where I'm trying to see if these underwear have any.
Live on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is how far we've come.
That's right. But that's where the majority of holes in my underwear happen. And I saw online just recently in the last couple of weeks, and it wasn't for underwear, but it was for jeans or pants, that a lot of holes open up in that same spot. Like I saw a lot of people talking about, I have a bunch of pairs of these pants and they all have a hole in this spot. And people were like, yeah, me too, me too, me too. Apparently it's something to do with the material they make pants out of now. They use stretchier material instead of proper denim and all that kind of stuff. They use stretchier material. There's something about that material that has certain weak points, and I guess that's one of the common areas of the weak points. So I wonder if that carries over into underwear. And I don't exactly know why. Maybe it's just the way guys sit down or something like that does it. But apparently, it's relatively common to have holes in that particular area on stretchier material.
Does it happen more from like, how guys sometimes sit, they man spread, they got their knees really far apart? I don't sit like that often, or or at all. I don't know. I don't need that. I don't need that aeration that guys seem to need. But yeah, I don't get a hole there. See, for me, the most frustrating holes that I get are where the elastic around, that holds the underwear up, where that is sewed to the actual underwear. Like multiple times. I guess it was the same brand that had the exact same problem where it just gradually expanded. There was a tiny hole and then it got bigger, bigger, bigger. And it's not because it's like overstretched or anything, but for whatever reason, it just like gradually became large enough that it's like, well, okay, the underwear is intact, but the elastic band is detached.
I don't get holes there, but interesting.
I guess that's the other question now, because I wear boxer briefs. I prefer boxer briefs. What kind of underwear do you wear?
I don't know the difference between any of them.
Well, so boxers are the really
I just wear the kinds that I wear.
Boxers are the ones where there's no support whatsoever. It's basically just like, I don't know, it's like shorts, but not shorts. Briefs are the ones which like are tighty whities, that type of thing. And then boxer briefs are like
those
tight boxers.
Yeah, I guess I wear those ones.
The boxer briefs, yeah. I feel like boxer briefs are really popular. Because tighty whities are just like, briefs are just very, I don't want to feel like Superman all the time. Whereas boxers are just...
I don't like the really...
You're just dangling.
Ones.
Yeah, you're just dangling all over the place. Like, what's the point of even wearing them at that point?
Yeah. I feel like it would feel weird, like wearing pants over something that's so loose. If you put on a pair of shorts and then put on a pair of pants over them, like that's...
It's almost the same thing, exactly.
Yeah, that's what it would feel like, I think.
And then you forget that you put anything on and you just go out in your boxers because it's like, oh, these are just shorts. Yeah, I'm not a fan of boxers. I think I briefly wore them in my childhood, but nah, never again. I need that sleekness of boxer briefs. They're also warmer, so if you're like in a colder climate, boxer briefs are the better approach for warmth. You get slightly more clothing cover.
Now on socks, I definitely throw them out when I get a hole on my toe, like to the point where your toe sticks out.
Mm-hmm, yes.
I don't know if you ever get those kind, but I do. That's probably because, going back to other conversations, it's probably because I don't trim my toenails.
You got inch-long toenails.
Yeah, they just cut through the sock.
Like a razor blade.
So I throw it out when I get that. Sometimes I'll get a hole in the, bottom of my foot. I'll let that one get not super big, but relatively decent size before I'll throw out a sock.
Usually when it starts, when there's a hole though, especially on the what is it? Well, the bottom of the foot. What's the heel? On the heel of the foot?
Sole.
Or the sole?
I don't get them on the heel. I get them on the front pads. That's where I get my hole in my socks.
But yeah, like I feel that once it starts, the hole gets bigger really quickly. Once that support is gone, boom, it just evaporates.
Yeah.
My problem is that, because I have a lot of socks that are the same, so I can pair them up however which way. But then there's a few pairs that are like, one of them has a hole and the other one doesn't. And I just don't have the heart to throw both of them out. So they're just stockpiled there where it's like, I can't wear them. I can't throw them out because the other one doesn't have a hole in it yet. So my mind is just all over the place and I just compartmentalize it and put it deep down with other trauma.
Yeah, I have a spot in my closet where I have single socks. There's not a lot there, but that's probably just where they'll stay because I've pretty much standardized all my socks now. Now I just have black socks. That's it.
But are they all the same? Because God forbid you mix up two where it's like one is from one set and the other one's from the other and just slightly different.
I don't care if they're slightly different.
Wow. Okay.
I would care if one rides up to my knee or something like that and the other one only goes to my ankle. But it's only like an inch different. I don't care. I'm sure I have some from an old package versus a new package. So, and I have a package of socks next to my...
But what about thickness? What if you have some thick sock that causes you to be like slightly off kilter?
Yeah.
You're tilted one way.
I only care the way they look. So if they're both solid black, I don't care how thick they are.
Look at you.
And I just have a thing of socks next to my dresser that has I can just pull out a new one. It's got a hole in it, throw it out, grab a new one.
Interesting. So you never know if you have an odd number or even number of socks because you're just kind of like picking and choosing. It's like Kleenex for you.
No, I mean if they're old socks, I pair them up and that's how I do it. But so I know when I have missing socks.
But I thought you said you just mix and match. So how would you know?
Well, when I fold my laundry, I still pair up that's when I pair up all my socks.
Oh, you do pair them up still. I thought you just tossed them into a big bin. I pair them up only to know that they're all there. Because, maybe you'll miss one in the dryer when you're pulling them out. So that's a good way to know that, oh, yeah, I didn't lose anything. But yeah, so I guess I do pair them up. But a lot of them are the same, so I can just pick and choose if I want.
Yeah, in theory, I could just throw them into a drawer the way they are and be fine with it. But no, I do pair them up and then...
Oh, do you ball them up? Apparently you're not supposed to ball them up. That ruins the
up.
elastic. You don't?
I take the end and I put them together and then I just do a little fold thing over.
But you use the elastic. Oh, but just a little bit. Okay. I ball them up fully, or I used to. I don't do that anymore. But
so the whole pair is a ball.
Well, each pair is a ball. Yeah. So I guess I can't really describe it, but like it looks like a ball. Yeah. The elastic goes all the way over top, you could say, and that's why it's not good to do that because you're kind of stretching the elastic too much.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. The tips I do, so I imagine I stretch the elastic, but I don't know. I've never really noticed. I don't really care if I've been stretching out elastic. The whole gets it before the elastic does. I've never thrown out a pair of socks because the elastic is worn out.
So like the way you're folding them, the way you're combining them, is it a case that you could throw it at somebody as a ball?
No, it's not really a ball. They're still like
it's
more like rabbit ears.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. So in my case, it's like a ball. Like you could play catch with it.
Yours is probably just an extreme example of what I do with mine.
Probably, yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. I also have a lot of these ankle high socks. I think I bought them at some point just as a pack because I do wear shorts, so they fit. But you can never wear those with long pants. It just looks weird. I find it looks weird.
I don't like ankle socks.
Because then it's like it's like in the old days, the Victorian era where like women would just show off their ankles and that would be a sexual thing. That's kind of what it feels like to me when I wear ankle socks with long pants. Because you can kind of see the slit there between the pants and the top of the socks where it's like, oh, that's some skin there, which is fine, but it doesn't feel comfortable because you got like, if it's cold outside, the air rushes through there and it's just like, it's like a knife cutting through there. It's not nice.
Yeah, I don't wear ankle socks if I can help it. I mean, the ones I have now are kind of a little bit shorter than I like, but I don't think they're quite ankle socks. Ankle socks are probably 2 or 3 inches shorter.
Yeah, ankle socks are where it's like almost hidden by the shoe.
Yeah, I don't like those. All right, well, that's socks taken care of. What was the last one?
Well, T-shirts. I mean, we could talk about other stuff, but let's talk about T-shirts. You said you wear a lot of T-shirts, right?
I do. I don't get holes in my T-shirts.
Wow, yeah. You don't have that problem that I do, right, of biting your T-shirt.
Yeah, I don't get holes in my T-shirts. I think I have one T-shirt with like a little hole right at the neck seam, but it's just very small, and I don't really, you can't even tell. I can't remember the last time I've thrown out a T-shirt. I have some pretty old ones.
That's impressive, though. I like that. I don't know how people do it because for some reason, like even without me biting the collars or whatever, a lot of my T-shirts gradually, like the collar gets worn, not because I'm biting it, but just because I guess it's like the back of the neck, for example. Even there, this what would you call it? I guess it is the collar, but you know how like the way it's stitched, where the collar is slightly different than the rest of the shirt. So that collar piece, the part that's holding it together, kind of tears in two. It frays. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. The collar frays.
What do you do with your T-shirts?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Tears in two at the collar.
I don't know what to tell you, but it does. Maybe my neck is really sharp.
Do you buy all your
sandpaper?
Do you buy all your T-shirts the same?
No, they're all different.
Same place or the same brand or whatever.
Not all of them. Like some of them, yeah, some of them were from the same brand, but still, it's like every T-shirt seems to do that eventually. Just, yeah, my neck is really abrasive, I think. It's like sandpaper.
I guess so.
I also do sleep in my T-shirts, right? If it's cold, I'll have a T-shirt on when I sleep, but I don't know if that's affecting it. I would say probably it does because then I'm wearing it for way longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The nice T-shirts I have, the ones that I like to save for special occasions, those I try to take care of. But there's only a couple of those, a handful. So the rest are all gradually falling apart. They're all very old, though. I haven't bought a T-shirt in a long time. I think the latest T-shirt I bought was the Welcome World Wide Web T-shirt.
Ah, there you go.
So, and even that one, I mean, that one's fine, but the actual text and the QR code are gradually they're not disappearing, but you know how when you have a print on a t-shirt and it starts to crack, so it's still there, but you can see that it's kind of cracked now. Yeah, that's why.
A lot of those custom designed t-shirt places are not that good of quality. They use some sort of a weird press-on weird kind of thing.
It's surprisingly tougher than I expected. I honestly didn't think they would last that long.
Yeah. Mileage varies.
I guess the simpler it is as well, the better. So the less printing you have to do. The QR code's gigantic on mine, if you remember. It's natural that it would crack like that. The letters seem pretty good still.
There we go. We ran the gambit of when we throw things out.
At least the stuff that is closest to your skin. I mean, pants, I guess, would be too, but pants are complicated. I got to buy some new pants at some point.
I hate pants shopping. They've made pants so, I don't know, they make them so different now.
You got to go to a vintage store. Go to like Goodwill or...
No, I don't do secondhand I don't do secondhand clothes.
Well, but what if you sterilize it completely? I don't know.
Nah. I've never liked the idea of secondhand clothes, and I never will. My parents and grandparents, they would just drag us into the Value Village and all that shit, and they'd be like, "Oh, let's get you some pants." I'm like, "No, thanks."
You wouldn't want underwear from Value Village?
Yeah. No clothes. I don't like Value Village. I don't like secondhand clothes. That's a no-no for me. I don't know why. Technically, there's really no real reason. I just don't like it. I don't like the idea of it. My issue with pants it's never like the waist. You know, I know what size my waist is. I can get that size. The issue is always they're too tight around my legs.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, a lot of the pants I have, I only have a very small handful at this point, are looser around the legs. But every new pair I get, like I got a pair, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, a month ago, something like that. And it's fine. The length is fine. The waist is fine. They're tight around the legs. And I'm just like, man, I can never.
So just your upper legs.
I've gotten a few pairs like that. Yeah, my upper legs. Yeah. I hate it.
I know what you mean.
I don't know how to get ones that are not that way. I just feel like every ones I've gotten in like the last like several years have been that way.
So it's not skinny jeans because those are really tight fitting across the whole leg.
Yeah.
But they're also like this slim fit variety. I've seen them labeled as slim fit, but I feel like even the regular ones seem pretty slim.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I do like shorts, by the way, because they actually feel way more comfortable since they aren't tight on my upper legs at all.
Yeah.
If you have a comfortable fitting pair of pants, then, you know, they are comfortable. That's why like sweatpants at home are way more comfortable to me than having to wear something outside.
Well, it's true. Probably why a lot of people wear sweatpants nowadays.
Well, exactly. That's probably why.
Because I don't usually mind it, but man, if they're tight, I just like get me in and out of them, you know?
You got to like open up the upper leg, let them breathe, keep everything else. So just make a slit through the upper leg so that it pops out.
There you go. Just tell everybody it's the new in.
It's the new
fashion. Yeah.
Exactly. And you could cut it into a different pattern. It's like when people wear ripped jeans. I never understood why companies sell ripped jeans on purpose. Like back in the old days, if your jeans were ripped, that's just happenstance. That's what happened. That's what it came to. But then companies started leeching off that and be like, oh, the cool kids wear the ripped jeans, so let's put rips deliberately in our jeans to appeal to them. Like, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. It's got to rip naturally, so just make them out of crappy material.
Yeah, I don't like any of that stuff. The ripped ones or the faded ones.
What is the faded one? Is it just the color?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that doesn't matter. Unless they're faded in specific areas for some reason.
No, I don't care. I just, like, you've never seen, I mean, just Google faded jeans and you know, they look like they've been worn for 2 years.
Oh, I see what you mean. I mean, I
don't like those.
It's just a color.
Normal blue or black jeans, that's it.
I don't really care about those. As long as they don't cost more for being faded, which probably they do. Yeah. No, I think, like, for me, it's just the rips are just the fact that, like, you're selling me less for more. Put that fabric back, please.
Well, it's just a style thing.
It is,
I don't think it probably costs more money. It probably costs more money to put tears into jeans than leave them as they are.
It's like decaffeinating coffee.
There you go. And inconsistent sizes. I don't understand that.
Oh, these sizes. Don't get me started on the sizes.
And not just jeans, like jeans, shirts, all that kind of stuff. Like an extra large to an extra large from one company to another is not the same.
Even within the same company, I've had, because my dad was buying pants like I think over the holidays, these past holidays. Well, it's going to be holidays again soon, but last year, and he was struggling because it's like he gets a pair, the size should be correct, doesn't fit, and then gets another pair, same company, different. It still doesn't fit, but the size is different, so it's like it's a mess.
It keeps me from buying things online because I'll be like, I don't know what I'm getting. Especially like t-shirts aren't too bad, but pants are like, I know what my size are. I know what my waist is. I know what my legs are, but I don't know what I'm going to get. Is it going to be, an inch, 2 inches, whatever, too small, even though it says this is what it is? I need to go to the store. I need to try them before I buy them.
I read somewhere that at least for certain companies, they have like there's like a range. So even though they say the size is this exact number, they're able to have a range of like plus or minus 1 inch.
Yeah, I've seen that before where a lot of them are transparent with that online though. But with pants, it's like, okay, with pants, the waist is your inches. That's you can't say oh, this is a 40-inch waist, but actually it might have a 38 to a 42-inch waist.
Yeah, like, that's a big difference.
I don't want to gamble on that.
It's pretty messy.
A shirt is at least like, oh, if it's extra large. I've seen shirts and jackets online where they'll be like, oh yeah, an extra large is like, if your arms are this long and, they put a spread and whatever, it's like, okay, whatever. That still worries me a little bit, but it's not terrible. But with pants, it's like the way you decide pant size is by the length and the waist. That's, you can't have a variation on that. It doesn't make any sense.
Actually, another thing that's really important is it called the inseam, where it's the length from the bottom of the crotch area, where it's like the two legs connect. That length, because that's important too. Sometimes you'll have everything good, but the crotch is too tight. Like it's not, it rides up too much. So I don't know. It's such a gamble buying pants. There's too many variables. With shirts, it's like, well, okay, you can kind of make it work. It may not be the most comfortable, but it'll be okay. And especially if it's a slightly larger size, then okay, it's movable, it's flexible. But pants, it's like, unless you go really overboard with the size, but then it's too big, either too long or you need a heavy duty
you don't
belt.
want it too big. Yeah, the waist isn't a big deal, but the length is a pain in the ass unless you know how to bring it in, and that's probably a dying art form. I used to be able to go to people and be like, oh yeah, can you adjust my pants? Whether that was my mom or my grandma, or actually I knew somebody at work who did it for me too after all that.
But you didn't learn yourself how to do it.
I never learned myself. If I had to bring them in, not a chance. I can't sew. There's no sewing abilities on me.
Maybe that's something you got to learn. It's a hobby. You can like start sewing.
I don't think so. I have no interest in sewing. If something has a hole in it and it needs to get sewed, it just goes in the trash.
I mean, it's probably faster that way, honestly. You value your time, so we live in a very consumerist society, so it's not a case of like back in the old days where everything was, a rare commodity. You don't want to throw out a sock.
Well, that's it. Yeah, like who cares? Like, you get a hole in it, you throw it out, you go get another one for...
No, because like my family, they were brought up on scarcity. So yeah, you get a hole, or like if something has enough holes, that becomes a rag. You use that to wipe stuff. But now it's like, man, no. Things cost so little, whereas my time is so expensive, and most people's time, I argue, is quite more expensive than how much things cost nowadays. It's just not worth it. Even like repairing garbage, like sometimes, like my dad is a big fan of repairing stuff. He knows his way around everything, but he'll repair stuff that I don't think deserves to be repaired. Let's put it that way. He'll do it. He'll succeed, but he'll spend, which I guess is a hobby for him at this point, but like he'll spend a lot of time repairing some piece of junk that...
Well, yeah, that's it too, is I know people who will do it because they enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I get it. But still, it's like there's other things that could be more fun to repair, I think. Because sometimes he'd struggle, not because it's like difficult to repair, but because the way that it's built is not designed for repair. Like phones are glued together nowadays, or even other things are just glued together. Things that back in the old days, like would be screwed together, would be nicely divvied up into parts, and you could take it apart, put it back together always, which is also what made it more expensive in the old days too.
Yeah, true. But yeah, no, I just especially clothes, just get rid of it. I mean, clothes are getting expensive though. It's not like
Yeah, some clothes. Sorry, I don't mean like I just mean socks. Sometimes.
yeah, socks are pretty good. You can get a good pack for $10. Even if they're crappy socks, they give you friggin' 20 pairs or something like that, which isn't bad. Underwear is getting expensive. They're like $30 for like a 4-pack now.
What? Damn, that is expensive. What kind of fancy underwear are you buying?
Nothing. They're just whatever.
Go to the
Fruit of the
dollar
Loom or
store.
whatever.
Buck
That's the thing.
underwear.
I think I need to go. I think I need to go into the dollar store more. I think a lot of people are starting to go to the dollar store more because not everything's a dollar, but they're cheaper than they are at a lot of places.
Yeah, they also have a bit more variety, I think. Because my parents said that they found plenty of good things like for around the house at the dollar store that they couldn't find at Walmart. Even like pieces of fabric that not fabric, but like fabric like things. I forget what they said. Maybe like not curtains, but maybe like a mat, some sort of mat. So they couldn't find it in Walmart, but hey, they found it in the dollar store. And it was way cheaper, of course, because I think the max was like $5 or something.
Yeah, I heard dollar store in Canada, anyways. The dollar store stocks are going up because more people are going there because everything else is getting too expensive. And very often, like you really can find the exact same thing you'd find in a Walmart or I guess even in grocery stores. You'll find it in a dollar store for literally a fraction, the exact same thing, like the same brand and everything for a fraction of the price. Sometimes you gotta compromise the brand, but very oftentimes they have the same brand stuff there. Yeah, they're worth going into.
You could
I don't know
order
about their
from
clothing options, but yeah.
well, you could order from Temu as well. Some nice Chinese underwear.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting Chinese underwear.
Why not? Come on.
I don't think I'm getting Chinese underwear.
Are you have something against Chinese underwear?
Not big on getting things from, direct from all the way over there.
Oh, why?
So I guess this isn't for China, but years and years and years ago, my company had a supplier for a certain thing in India.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so we get things direct from India. And every time they came in, there was always some weird bugs in the shipment. Always weird bugs in the shipment. And actually, the last time that we used them, and after this happened, I got a new supplier. But the last time we used them, it actually got denied at customs because it was so infested with bugs. They wouldn't let it into the country.
Well, what were you ordering? Was it like just?
Well, I'm not gonna say what I was.
No,
ordering
but like
it's work specific.
it was inorganic, right?
Yeah, it was fabric. It was stuff made of fabric. Yeah.
I guess it was a fabric that attracted insects.
It was stuff that was made with wool.
Oh, yeah, okay. So natural fabric, natural fiber. Yeah.
So, but then it was manufactured, so like it's not really an excuse.
Well, the factory probably wasn't infested, and
Well, yeah, probably. So I have a particularity of ordering things from foreign countries with worse standards.
well, okay, fair enough. I will say what I ordered from AliExpress, straight from China, is perfectly fine, clean as a whistle.
I'm sure for the most part they are, but I also don't like stuff that I know is cheap and crap. I do try to avoid that. Like I don't think that Temu stuff is exactly premium quality.
Yeah, that's why I would never order something that is either expensive or fragile. Not because of the delivery, but because you wouldn't want it to be something that breaks, like just because of poor quality. Because then it's like then you're out a lot of money and you can't use the thing. But a piece of fabric, a piece of clothing, that type of stuff, that's the easiest thing to ship, and that's the thing that, unless they did a bad job fabricating it, is going to be fine.
Even clothing, I don't really like to get like I buy a fair bit of my clothing at Walmart, but that's out of like.
But isn't that also made in China?
No, this is what I'm getting to. The Walmart stuff, like I only get it out of convenience. That's where I do my shopping, all that kind of stuff. So sometimes I'll go past the clothes and I'll just be like, oh, I'll take a quick look and see if there's something that I need, or I'll see a cool T-shirt in there and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll grab this. Why not? But if I like have to make a concentrated effort to find clothing, I won't go to Walmart. Like if I need a good jacket or whatever, like I won't go to Walmart for that. If I need shoes, I don't go to Walmart for my shoes. Even Walmart, I won't shop at if I don't have to shop. If I have the time or the energy or whatever to not shop at Walmart, because they are crap. They are garbage. Because I get that not everybody can afford some of the better stuff, but honestly, like, I think I have like a $250 winter coat, and I've had it for, at this point, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years, something like that. And it's fine. And it's a good looking coat. It's a nice, good quality coat. I spent a lot of money on it, and it's still doing great. Where did I get it from? I got it from, actually got it from one of those soup places. But I spent a lot of money on it, and it's lasted me forever. Whereas, I remember getting Walmart coats, and they'll be like, I'll get like a year, maybe 2 years out of them. So same with shoes. Like, if I get a pair of shoes, they'll last me like 6 months tops. If I get a good pair of shoes, though, they'll last me like 2 years. So, if I don't have to buy from Walmart, I really won't. But I think that's where they, are successful because like I said, not everybody has $200 or $300 or whatever up front for a jacket that will last longer than a $50 jacket. They're going to go for the $50 jacket, even if it only lasts a year or two. $50 is what they have on them.
Yeah, it's paycheck to paycheck versus having some savings.
So I think that's where Walmart, shines. Like Shaquille O'Neal said, he has shoes at Walmart, Shaquille O'Neal. And they said, well, why does he have shoes at Walmart? Because he likes having the cheaper shoes for the families. He supports those over the $200 Nike shoes. He likes the more I'm sure money was a big thing for him too, but he likes having the shoe out there that everybody can afford with his name on it instead of just the rich guys.
Damn, I should go buy some Shaq shoes.
He knows they're inferior quality. He's not going to be, he wasn't using them on the basketball court.
Oh,
or whatever,
I see.
But,
that's too bad.
But they were affordable. They're affordable to families. They're worse quality, but they're affordable to families. So
does it have his face on it? Like the shoes, do they have his face on it?
They probably don't have his face on it.
Oh man, that would be an insta buy for me.
So I get where Walmart comes from. They have a good business model, but at the end of the day, I understand they're cheap Chinese crap. And
yeah, so okay, fair enough. So the stuff you get on Temu is probably about the same quality.
Yeah. If there's any defects or whatever, bugs or anything like that, Walmart can deal with them. By the time they get to me, they've wandered around the store already. And,
yep, absolutely.
They're everywhere else. So there you go.
I just think of that.
They're fighting with the rats.
I just think of that episode from The Simpsons where the mosquito gets inside the Krusty meal.
Yeah, see? Maybe that's where my concern actually started. And then I saw that in real life. And I was like, I don't think so. We're done here.
It's a bit of exotic in your life. Oh, look at these insects. I've never seen these before. Whoops, it bit me. Uh-oh.
All right, well, on that note, let's talk about other invaders through the movie of the week. Movies.
So we watched two movies. We watched Hellraiser from 1987 and Hellraiser from 2022. I watched. You probably didn't have to watch them. You live and breathe on Hellraiser.
I would have watched them, but I didn't have time. I thought about it. I was like, maybe I should watch them. So my memory is based purely on my previous watchings of them.
That's great. So I can just tell you my thoughts and we'd be done with it.
There you go.
So
what are your thoughts? Let's start with the original.
I enjoyed the original. I liked Hellraiser 1987. I found the last 10 minutes were hilarious. I don't know if they were meant to be, but they were just delightful. If you remember Kirsty, I think that's her name, Kirsty, right? So she's the girl that survives in the end, the daughter of the guy whose new wife feeds him to the villain who's trying to reconstruct his body. Well, to his brother, actually, Frank. But so Kirsty, in the last 10 minutes, she's wrestling with the scorpion-like creature. I don't know if it's a scorpion-like, just the one that has two heads, the one above and the one below. And so she's wrestling with that creature, trying to get the puzzle box. And I just love that the camera pans back and forth, just like it's a parody of itself. It's hilarious. I was laughing the whole time. And it wasn't even like I was fearful for her because her eyes said like, I'm going to kick your ass if you do anything. And she was a pretty badass character in the end. So props to her. I also think the premise of the first Mummy movie, I don't know if you remember Brendan Fraser. Basically what happens in that one is you have Imhotep, I think his name is. He's this mummy that wants to rebuild his body to get all his power back. And they do that by sacrificing people. They sacrifice their organs, different organs to get his different organs back. in a way, this is very similar to what this movie's about, where they're gradually sacrificing people, or, the wife is sacrificing people to Frank to get him to rebuild his body. I think they took a lot of inspiration. The Mummy, I mean, took a lot of inspiration from
Mummy.
Hellraiser.
I was gonna say this came out well before the Mummy did. Yeah, yeah. No, this one has the more unique premise out of all the Hellraiser movies. All the rest of the Hellraiser movies are more in line with the remake, where it's like somebody accidentally or on purpose opens the cube, and then there's all these configurations, and you gotta sacrifice people, and they make deals at the end, and some of them take the deal and some of them refuse the deal, and a lot of them are more like that.
That was my main complaint about the 2022 film. So the original one, the 1987, a lot of the stuff that the Cenobites are all about was left to your imagination, and the world that they're in, and why they do this, how they do this, all this. It's just you imagine it. It's all very like abstract. I found it a beautiful, kind of gruesome, but beautiful in a way, because a lot of it is kind of just this abstract representation of something that you can just try to deduce for yourself. But then the 2022 one is just very obvious, like, oh, here's all this lore, here's the rules, but they're not in any way like precise. So you kind of just like in the end of the 2022 one, they, the guy, what's his name, Roland Voight, he has a thing stuck in his chest to constantly activate his nerves so that he's always in pain and he can never get accustomed to it. That's the shtick of why, like, he chose, I want to feel for the rest of my life or something. But then Pinhead comes in and Roland says, like, get this crap off of me. And somehow that works out and he becomes a Cenobite. I guess that's what the ending's like, right? That's why he looks the way he looks in the end. But it's just weird because, like, well, why does he get to choose? That makes no sense. It wasn't his choice to make. So I found it weird that they have this, they break their rules, even though they put
Wasn't
rules.
it because, though, he offered the final sacrifice?
But then why did Riley, which is, what's his name? Her name's Riley, right?
Yeah, it was more inconsistent, the ending with the girl than...
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess you can pick either one where it's like, I don't understand why one of them was able to do what they did when it was supposed to be only one that had the opportunity. The other one shouldn't have been able to do something.
It looks like you can exchange, and I think there's other Hellraiser movies where you're allowed to do the same thing. You're allowed to exchange your reward, but not revoke it. It's not even so much that it was consistent, because they kind of offered the same thing to Riley.
Oh, like, if exchange it. Oh, I see what you mean. So he exchanged his for power. Okay.
Yeah, so he didn't like his reward. He wanted something different, and really the only other thing was, well, I guess power, which I guess made him a Cenobite, which has its own form of power. But it's kind of same like earlier in the movie. They're like, oh, if you give me two, I'll let you, if you give me two sacrifices, I'll let you go. So they do that a lot in the, they don't do it in the first movie. Like I said, the ones after that, switch focus more like this. And almost all of them have some sort of a, if you give me two sacrifices, I'll let you go, or I'll let that person go, or something like that.
This movie teaches you to haggle, basically. It's all about haggling.
Yeah, this series is definitely haggling, which I don't know. I think it's kind of fits somewhat the theme, because the whole thing is like trying to find a balance between, like, the whole thing with the Cenobites is like they're always trying to find that balance. I think you can get that from, I think that's, kind of with haggling too. You're always trying to find some sort of a balance when you haggle.
Yeah, okay.
It gets complicated in the later movies because, like you said, like, this one has a lot of lore and stuff, and actually this one tones back the lore from maybe the last two movies, the two previous movies, because the two previous movies start going on with gods and demons, and, like, they say in the first movie that they're not religious in any way, they're just travelers. But then it gets very but then the later movies start to become very much religious, like to the point where even Pinhead's actually called like a priest or something. Like, the actual name for Pinhead is like a priest or something like that. I can't remember exactly. They get into the lore and they're very religious, and you don't get that in the first movie, which I think is why the first movie is probably the best one, because they're travelers, so they're not like inherently bad guys. That's where I was going with this. I was trying to remember where I was going with this. They're not inherently bad guys, so they're not like being unfair. They're just following the rules of this box, which is like it demands a sacrifice. It demands sacrifices and all that kind of stuff. But they all come from, they're not even all like, it didn't all happen at once. They got their own followers, and like you see that with Voight. That's where I give the remake credit. Is it's the only time in the series where you see somebody become a Cenobite.
So they didn't just suddenly appear, all of them at once. They gradually did this. They became disciples
And
themselves.
they always have different Cenobites in every movie. Pinhead's the only one that's consistent. I think the ones from the first movie are also in the second and maybe the third. But then after that, there's new ones every time.
Well, because apparently you can kill them, which is baffling to me. The remake had that. I don't know, like, why didn't they think of that earlier? Where it's like, oh, just pin them, just stick them with the blade on the box, each one of them, and then you win. Wouldn't that work?
Well, yeah, if you can do that.
Yeah, but it seems like they're pretty slow plotting, aren't they?
Yeah, but they have their powers and they have their own stuff that they can kill you with and all that. So,
but only it seems like they can only kill the people who are marked. Otherwise, they can't do anything. They just pass them right by.
I mean, that might be true. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but
that's what happened in the remake. The guy, the gay guy, was right in front of the Cenobite, but the Cenobite was going direct towards Riley, past the gate, and just completely ignored the gay guy.
Wasn't he the guy though that ended up being the traitor? Wasn't that the traitor?
No, the traitor was the one beside Riley, the boyfriend, Riley's boyfriend. But what I mean is, like, Riley could have thrown the box to the gay guy, and the gay guy could have picked up the box, stabbed the guy. I mean, she did this in the end. Like, this is the one that she stabbed, but it was, like, after a whole thing of, like, the boyfriend having his arm bitten, so he was, like, suffering from shock from that. So, I don't know. Like, I get it. It's all in a panic.
I just don't think they're, like I said, I don't think they're, like, this one had more religious stuff, but they still dialed it back from the last couple. But I don't think they're bound by these weird rules. Like, they have to get the sacrifice, right? But I don't think that prevents them from killing other people. At the end of the day, they're really just...
Oh, I see. They're just kind of timid.
Transformed mortal beings who, just they have to get their sacrifice. So, do you have to kill that other one if they're not going to be a threat, Like, they're not murderers. Like I said, it's easier if you don't look at... You have to kind of look at them as bad guys. But it's easier if you don't look at them as bad guys because they're really not. They're just following the rules of their box, but I don't think they're bound to those rules or bound to anything beyond those rules. So if somebody's not a threat, do you have to kill them? The answer is no. If they are a threat, can you kill them? Like, I can't think of any examples. I'm not super well versed with the movies enough to say, like, oh yeah, in movie 3 they killed this guy who was completely innocent.
Well, the funny thing is, though, a lot of times people end up hurting themselves on the box without wanting to hurt themselves on the box. Like, a lot of innocent people do end up dying. That's the sad thing. In the remake especially, it's like, well, okay, so her brother...
those are the rules. You cut yourself on the box, you become a sacrifice. When the configuration is open, you become a sacrifice.
Yeah, I get it. But that's why, that's basically the only reason of thinking of them as villains, is because that the damn box causes them to be all loopy and think like, oh, well, yeah, the box... They're like miserable bureaucrats.
Yeah, there you go.
They're basically running the DMV. They're just stepping all over everybody because of them rules. But yeah, I did prefer the original because they seemed a lot more blasé about things. They were pretty chill.
Yeah.
They were just like, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and I don't know how much input, like, obviously Hellraiser started with Clive Barker, who's a great horror creator.
Yeah, so the first movie was written and directed by Clive Barker. That's one thing.
Then it looks like he has no input in any of the other movies.
Yeah, exactly. But another thing about Hellraiser, Clive Barker has been open about his experiences with sadomasochism, and so that's why Hellraiser is the way it is, especially the first one. It has a lot of the leather. It has a lot of the, I guess the sadomasochism going on, even though it's way over the top. But yeah, I just, because I read a little bit about that.
There you go.
It was basically not a metaphor, but like it was his output from being a gay man in the 80s. That's one of the reasons why Hellraiser is the way it is. But the thing you said last time, which is I found weird, I don't understand why you think these movies are right up my alley. Like, I'm not a sadomasochist or anything like that.
Right. Just because of the weird sexual innuendo stuff.
But I don't even know how, like, so I found it way less sexual than I thought. It would be.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Way less.
It's not. It's based
maybe
in
the
that,
other
but
ones,
it's really not.
Maybe the other ones would be, but this was just like, I don't know, it was just painful. I don't see how they would derive any pleasure from the things that they encountered.
People
Some
get
people do,
pleasure from that, though.
but if you think about it, like, so in the first one makes way more sense because the guy who opened the box was just like this Frank guy. He was just a loony to begin with. But the people who dealt with this stuff in the remake, I don't know, none of them seemed to have liked what was happening.
I think the other consideration is too, though, you have to remember that in the remake, like, you become a sacrifice and like you leave the mortal coil, but the sadomasochism stuff is happening in the other world off screen.
Okay. So they don't show that.
So the extreme stuff is not dying to the configuration. It's what happens once you've died to the configuration and been elsewhere.
But they don't show that. So like, and they didn't show that in the first movie either.
Yeah, they don't really.
So it's hard to know
show
that's
that,
what's happening.
Kind of the implication, because I think the guy even says when he was in the first movie, I think he even says like stuff happened off screen. Like it wasn't just him coming back to life. Like I think he does say stuff like that, doesn't he?
Well, he probably does, but I don't really remember. I watched both of these movies in like the middle of the night, at 4 a.m.
There you go. But yeah, it all kind of happens in the other, realm or whatever.
Which, by the way, was too blue. I don't know. The first movie did it well. The second one was just hideous. Like, who would want to be in this crappy world? Like, put some warmth into it, at least.
Yeah, they do a great. They don't do a great job in I guess portraying the fact that this is supposed to be like some extreme level of pain and pleasure.
Extreme level of boredom.
Well, mostly just dreariness. So it's trends more towards the pain. Even the nerve ending thing where he had the nerve ending attached to him, I think the whole purpose is that, again, in some way it's supposed to be, painful, but I don't know, maybe Voight was supposed to also get pleasure out of it, but...
I don't think he did, though. He was complaining about it.
Yeah, he didn't want it. That wasn't up his alley, right?
But they did the monkey paw thing in the remake. That's what I wanted to say. They did the monkey paw thing where it's like, apparently you wish for something from the Cenobites. Oh, I want this. And suddenly, oh, no. This is really what you're going to get. Like, okay, well, why even make a deal at this point?
Well, again, it's like once you're already in there, it's too late, right? So
sure, I guess. I don't know.
And you don't know what you're getting into. Like, you just get if you get this box that's going to like offer you, and it was the same way with the first movie, you just vaguely get this box that's going to offer you experiences like you've never experienced. You know what I mean? And that's what the whole thing with the Cenobites is that's what they were seeking. They were tired of pain. They were tired of pleasure. They were looking for something beyond both of those realms. And so when you get the box, that's what you're asking for, or that's what the promise is. I would say, I think these movies, I get the premise. I understand the premise. I think it's limited by human perception. I get the premise is that they're looking for something beyond pain and pleasure, but we don't realistically know what that actually means. So it comes across as what Clive Barker has decided, lured out, it comes across as, which is like extreme pain for some reason. I guess these movies come from the place of, the people who get the pleasure from the pain. Like if you don't get the pleasure from the pain, that's not your experience.
That's how you know you're not a sadomasochist. I looked up briefly sadomasochism, and apparently they have like levels of it as well.
Right.
One of the levels is like you can't have a sexual orgasm without having the pain. So I'm not at that level. So I think maybe this movie's not for me.
And it's not that the movie's not for you.
Well, no, I just mean like I can't like appreciate the subtlety.
Yeah,
of
you
it.
might not appreciate the nuance. Yeah.
Which, yeah, whatever. I do think the 1987 Hellraiser was a beautifully made movie. I think the special effects were excellent. I think the story was, again, it left a lot to your imagination, but I like that. I like that it felt more eerie, or not eerie, but kind of eerie, but also it didn't feel like a horror movie, in my opinion, even though I know it is, and it had what it needs to be a horror movie. Honestly, it felt more like, kind of like Beetlejuice, where I know Beetlejuice is not a horror movie, but it felt kind of like that. Not the tone as well, but just, I don't know what it is. It's a different genre. It's not like Sinister. It's not like the 2022 Hellraiser. It has some different feeling to it.
Yeah, that's fair. The first one has a completely different tone from all the other ones.
Okay, well then, there you go.
The tone, direction, all that kind of stuff. The first one is completely different from the other ones. I will say one thing I didn't like in the remake is that they replaced Pinhead with a woman. It wasn't a big deal because I guess the way Pinhead was actually written was there's supposed to be an androgynous character, so it doesn't really matter. But throughout the entire series, it was all play. I think it was the same character. I think it was the same actor throughout the entire series except for her.
Oh, damn. So he played it for a long time.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that, but I think it was. Or if there were changes, only like once or twice. After so many movies of him, it's weird to see the woman. And I feel like no matter what, even if it's supposed to be an androgynous character, I feel like you don't get the same feeling from Pinhead being a woman as you do from Pinhead being a man. As the man, he was able to be like more imposing, like physically, whereas the woman was more like she was sinister. But it was like I don't know how much of an actual threat there was from her.
Well, they have powers, I guess, as you said. Although, again, I kind of argue that, like, I mean, also they didn't have the leather in the remake. That's one of the things I noticed. Like, the leather made it. I don't know. The leather is really important because it gives you a contrast between their white, pasty skin and the clothing.
Yeah, like I said, somewhere along the line, Hellraiser became more religious than not. Like, even in the remake, like, you get Leviathan. You know, you got this god Leviathan. It's like, where the does this god come from? Yeah, because they're just supposed to be travelers of some things. So now all of a sudden they're bound, and the ones right before it, the two right before it, are extremely confusing with their lore because you got God and you got a messenger and you got angels, and it just starts to go completely off the deep end. So I think once you get into that, then yeah, you get rid of the leather and all that stuff that you had in the first few movies because that's more the sexual aspect of it. Even the character designs like are supposed to be. I don't think they even the first one. I don't think they really come across as too sexual. But in a couple of them, you get ones that are bound in leather and things are tied up and all that kind of stuff, and you really get that sense of the sadomasochism or the BDSM or whatever.
Well, you get a little bit of that in the first one. The first one had a couple of
You
characters
do get a little
like
bit of
that.
that in the first one, yeah. But like I said, towards the end of the series or towards the current point in the series, it starts to become more religious than it does sadomasochism, so I think you lose a lot of that imagery, unfortunately. Or maybe not, unfortunately. I don't know. I guess.
Well, I think it is unfortunate because I think so the religious stuff has been done to death. So I would rather see an extension of the original that has more of that sadomasochism. That's why I kind of thought, let me watch the second one as well, potentially, because maybe that one is still kind of running that same line. But as you said, I guess that like it kind of goes off the deep end pretty quickly. So I don't know. And I saw that the rating of the second one's really bad, apparently.
The second one or the remake?
No, the second one. Just the second Hellraiser, one right after the 87 one.
Right. Did you watch that one?
No. I didn't watch it. I just thought like I might put it on my list because I want to kind of see like, well, where do they take it? I want to see if they improve upon it or extend it.
No, they don't.
But I guess maybe I should just leave it at that.
The only one in the entire series. That's why I said like it's not even worth watching the remake. The only one in the entire series that was any good was the first one, in my opinion. The remake didn't get terrible reviews.
I mean,
which I
it was all right.
Surprised at because I felt it was mostly the same as the rest of the series without all of the confusion from the last two movies. But yeah, I think the first one was honestly the only one that was worth watching. They have a video game coming out soon.
Do you play as Pinhead?
I don't know what you play as. No, you don't play as Pinhead. Definitely not.
Wouldn't that be funny though? You're going around making marks, exacting deals. Come on, that'd be fantastic. Also, the pyramid that comes down from the sky in the remake, that just reminded me of Control. I just thought like, oh, that's a nice inspiration.
Yeah, but I think Clive Barker has a hand in this, so
yeah, I think it's supposed to be Clive Barker's Hellraiser, right?
Yeah.
Usually he only puts his. Usually the games are only subtitled when they actually have his input.
Yeah, so it could be interesting. Could be an interesting video game. But yeah, so that's Hellraiser. So what's next?
Well, first of all, King of the Hill, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is still my top. But, Hellraiser, I would say so, let's rank our horror films. Hellraiser, I would say, is probably the best of the 1987 Hellraiser is the best of all the horror movies so far.
How many horror movies have we watched? We only watched Sinister.
Yeah, but VHS was all, from my opinion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then comes
VHS.
Sinister. I think Sinister was better than VHS for me. And then comes VHS, and then the 2022 Hellraiser. Maybe we'll get another horror movie this time. Who knows?
All right, let's see. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, randomize. What is this? The Harder They Fall. 2021 Western. Oh, Idris Elba. All right. I had no idea Idris Elba was British until his media tour for his new movie with John Cena. Head of state. I had no idea he was British.
Because he plays the British prime
He
minister
never
or whatever?
he never has a British. Well, no, it was the media tour that I realized he was British. I don't
No,
know
but
if he
in the
plays
show.
movie,
That's
but
what I mean, or in the movie.
I don't know what he does in the movie.
Well, John Cena's the president, isn't he?
Yeah, John Cena's the president.
One
I
of
don't
them.
know what
One of them
actress
is the
plays.
prime minister of the United Kingdom.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like the
All right.
two tag team saving the world or something
I
like
see.
that.
I thought he was like the head of CIA or something like that. Head of security, something like that. But I have no reason to think that. Just other than John Cena was the president, so I didn't really expect him to team up with the fucking Prime Minister of England for some reason.
Hey, you gotta cooperate in this day and age. But yeah, so The Harder They Fall, 2021.
American Western. Let's see here. Oh, the principal cast members are all black. It's one of the few westerns that they're all black. Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, Zazie Beetz. I feel like we watched something else with her in it. Oh, she was in Deadpool 2. Oh, Damon Wayans Jr. Okay, I know Damon Wayans. And what was the reception? 88%. Pretty good.
It's probably gonna be a depressing movie.
Yeah, there's actually no synopsis beyond the actual plot, so I have no idea what we're in for here.
It's 2 hours 19 minutes. Aren't you excited?
What is with all these long movies?
Hey, it's
I don't
not
get
3.5 hours at least.
Yeah, but 2 hours and 19 minutes is still a friggin' long time.
It's gonna be better for me. I watched
You just 100 minutes. That's it.
I
All
watched-
movies should be cut off at 100 minutes.
with the two Hellraisers. I had to watch 3.5 hours of cinema in this past weekend. I'm really thankful that the 1987 Hellraiser is 1 hour and a half. Just 1 hour and a half. It's amazing.
That's the right length. But movies nowadays, I don't know. They gotta show everything. They must think people are too stupid. That's it. We gotta show them absolutely everything, so there's no confusion. Instead of leaving it to hang and let people think about it. Which, to be fair, I'm kind of like that too. If I don't get something, I go on the internet and I go, "What was the ending to this? What was I supposed to get from this?"
Was Pinhead a bad guy or a superhero?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you were telling the truth when
Was
I.
he a bad
when
guy
I
or
thought-
Santa Claus?
Well, he could be. Can you imagine Pinhead as Santa Claus? They should have a Hellraiser. It's a Hellraiser Christmas film.
There you go. That's right.
And then Pinhead comes down the chimney wearing a Santa outfit. I would watch that.
No, you gotta settle for the Terrifier movies.
Oh, are those the ones where the Santa is the bad guy?
Well, he dresses up as Santa and all that, so. But yeah, anyways, why don't you tell us what your word of the fortnight is?
All right, so the word of the fortnight this time is slake. S-L-A-K-E. It's a verb, and it's to satisfy or quench. And the idiom that this is part of is to slake one's thirst. So either your thirst for curiosity or water or whatever. But I got this word from Genshin Impact.
Oh, we're back to Genshin.
Yeah, briefly. Next time it'll be a Silk Song.
Ah, there you go.
But I did like the word slake. That's why I decided to keep this in.
Yeah, Slake's a good word. All right, well, there you go. Slake is the word. Now let's do some Pokemon sounds. Do 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 do. Identifying Pokemon from their sounds from the Tournament of Things last season. All the legendaries. Here we go. We're on round 22 between 55 and 74. And here is 74. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Cresselia.
Very UFO-like.
That was very UFO-like, but I think this is like a... Oh, no. Wait, it kind of looks like UFO-like.
Yeah, it's a spacefaring Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, this one actually fits. I can't believe it.
Yeah, this one actually does. Yeah. I've never seen it. I don't even know what this is, though.
And it's even a good-looking Pokemon. It looks legendary. It looks good. It's got a nice color scheme, very unique. Haven't seen one like this before. Yellow, kind of light blue, baby blue, and pink. Very different. It looks like she's wearing a banana on her head as well.
Oh my god, this one's in so many games and I've never seen it. This one is from Diamond and Pearl. But like it seems like you can actually catch them in like so many games, and I've literally never seen it. That's wild. It's even in Legends Arceus. That's a game where you have to catch everything. I've never seen this one. Blue swan-like body with yellow underside, pink eyes, dark pink round tuft on its head, and a pointed beak-like snout. So it's like a space bird, space duck.
Due to its appearance, Cresselia is said to resemble a crescent moon and the woman who made the Milky Way. I didn't
Did a woman
realize
make-
there's a
did
woman.
a woman make the Milky Way?
Apparently,
All right.
yes. This is coming from Bulbapedia, so it must be right. But I've never heard that.
That's news to me. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about the Milky Way to know what the lore is on that.
In the pixel art of the games, it really does look like she's wearing a banana on her head.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Just a slit open banana.
It actually does.
No, this is a good one. I like this Pokemon.
Yeah, this is yeah. I like this Pokemon. I'm just really surprised I haven't seen it, given that it doesn't look like it's DLC only. You know, it's not one of those DLC or expansion pack Pokemon. Like there's several games where you can get it right in the base game, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, apparently game locations, Diamond and Pearl, roaming Sinnoh. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, it just roams.
Oh,
I
just
guess.
roaming. Oh, okay. It's just a
Yeah.
rare event.
I'm gonna look more into this Pokemon.
I mean, some of them are only in trade. Like X and Y was trade, Hard Gold, Soul Silver is
Right,
trade,
but
Black White trade.
there's a lot that it's not. Like it's available in Black and White 2. It's available in Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon. It's available in Sword and Shield, although that one is the expansion pack. It's available in Legends Arceus. There's not too many legendary Pokemon who are available in multiple games.
Well, there you go. You got to go back and get it.
I might have to, check out at least Arceus. All right, and that one went up against number 55, who sounds like this.
Oh, yeah. It's a funny one. I don't remember how I described it, but it was definitely a funny one.
And that one belongs to Tapu Fini.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like it. I thought it was going to be more like in a snow-covered environment.
Oh, I don't know. I could see it. It kind of looks like a mermaid or something like that. And I mean, there's no water sounds in its voice, but I can see like a high-pitched like.
It's a mermaid in a shell.
It is a mermaid in a shell.
And when the shell closes, it resembles a fish.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't remember this one, but I must come across it because it's a guardian Pokemon from Sun and Moon. So in Sun and Moon, each island has a guardian Pokemon, Tapu something or other. And this is one.
They all have like
a
a shell around them, just different looking shell.
Yeah, more or less that's true. Yeah. So these are in Sun and Moon, and you can only. Well, I guess I would never have captured them because I usually stop after I become the champion. But this one you can capture it after you become the champion. The very best, and those games are based on Hawaii, so the Hawaiian Islands. So that's why they kind of went in that direction. So there weren't typical. So in those games, there weren't typical gym leaders and all that kind of stuff. You go through the islands and you do the island tasks or whatever, and you run into the Tapus and.
Wow. So hold on a second. There's no gym leaders, so the kids.
There's no gym leaders.
The kids in that area, they can't actually like become a gym master, or they can't compete.
They have their own like cycle. Their own circuit, yeah. It's just not traditional gym leaders. Like I said, you go to each island and you have to do the leaders, kind of like the island leaders, little challenge or whatever, and then you fight. It's pretty much exactly the same, but I don't think there's 8 of them. And then you can go to the championship or whatever. I don't even know if it's called the Elite Four. I don't think it is. So they mixed up the formula a little bit in Sun and Moon. And they realized that was a stupid idea and they went back. But so yeah, he's one of the guardian. She's one of the guardian. Wait, what is she? Oh, gender unknown. All right, they're one of the guardian Pokemons. And 55 got knocked out in the second round, so we didn't like it enough to carry us too far.
Yeah, it was fine, but it wasn't spectacular.
And in matchup 23, 42 went up against 87, and 42 got knocked out. Here's what it sounds like. And that one is Kyurem.
Jesus Christ, that sound! I don't even remember that sound. It just sounded so jarring. You couldn't even finish saying what you wanted to say before it interrupted you.
I clicked while I was still talking. Yeah.
Because you probably thought it would like lead into it. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll have some time. No.
Yeah, it was it came at me pretty fast. Yeah.
It's definitely a growl.
Belongs to Kyurem, who is the title Pokemon for Black and White.
Looks like he has a T-Rex with toilet paper wings and toilet paper helmet.
Yeah, it does look like a toilet paper Pokemon, doesn't it? Kind of looks that way. Dragon and ice. It's supposed to be ice. They're supposed to be icicles.
That doesn't look like ice.
Icebergs.
I've never seen ice that color.
Yeah, his body is not ice.
I'm ice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The ice doesn't look like ice.
Yeah, he's got icicles coming out the end of him though. So
it's like milk. It's frozen milk.
And he is the game mascot for Pokemon Black 2. Oh, he's both. Oh, so hold on. Is he?
There's white Kyurem and black Kyurem.
Oh, Reshiram and Zekrom were the black and white Pokemon, and then Kyurem was the black 2 and white 2 Pokemon. That was it. I guess he's on both. Oh, he is on both. Okay. He's got white Kyurem and black Kyurem. Why not?
But those don't count as different Pokemon, right?
No, they don't count as different Pokemon. You must get like one or the other in.
Oh, infused. I see. When you fuse them with Reshiram, you get white Kyurem. When you fuse them with Zekrom, you get black Kyurem.
Got it.
Clear as mud.
And they also have apparently they also have an overdrive mode.
Yeah, sure. Whatever that is.
And then one becomes flame and one becomes lightning.
I feel like this is their solution to what Digimon was doing with the Digimon. Digivolving them.
Yeah.
Temporarily, and then they go back to their cute form. I remember when Pokemon was simple. Thing evolves, never goes back.
It's so complicated now. Yeah, now you got fusions and rabbits riding horses and.
No, the rabbit riding a horse is pretty fun. That's cute. That's kind of like what the Shellder biting the Slowpoke's tail to evolve. That was fine. I appreciate some complexity because that would also happen in real life. So it's all it's all good.
Sure it would. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some creatures out there that do that. But yeah, I don't know. Some of this stuff is wonky. That's why I really like that first Pokemon, the pink, gold, and baby blue one, because it is just a nice, simple one evolution, no other form, clear cut. I don't know. I like that type of stuff, especially for legendaries.
I get that. But I think when you do, however many fucking games there are in the series now, 12 generations, whatever it is, 8 generations, you want to find something, maybe a little bit new. So they always try to put a little bit something new in there. Gigamaxing and Dynamaxing and Fusion and all that. And they're not as complicated. I think when you play the games, they're not as complicated as they sound when you're just thinking about it. And it's not something you have to engage with. Like I don't think I've ever fused Pokemon. That's nothing. I don't think that's anything I've done. But it depends how you play them. And if you're going to play enough in the game to get that far, then I think you're open to those mechanics too. So 42 got knocked out by 87. This is 87. And that belongs to another Tapu Pokemon, Tapu Lele, who's just like a cute little hermit shell.
Yeah, this one's adorable because she's in a jar and she's sticking her head out of it.
Yeah.
I like this one.
What does she look like when she goes into it? Doesn't really look like much of anything.
Like I said, it's a jar with wings.
Yeah, this one's not as clear cut as the last Tapu was.
Vaguely butterfly-like Pokemon. Okay, vaguely.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of see that because they kind of look like antenna.
She's a really fat butterfly if you think about it, though. How in the world do you fly with such tiny wings but such a large body?
I guess it does have wings back there. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a, it's still evolving. Psychic and Fairy, no gender or gender unknown. It's 3'11". It's bigger than I would have thought it would be.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was like a tiny little bug thing.
Yeah.
But no, you wouldn't want to
Exactly.
encounter this in a dark alley.
And it got knocked out in the second round. So a lot of these Pokemon are getting knocked out in the second round. A lot of these first round Pokemon are getting their ass handed to them by the new Pokemon in the second round. But yeah, there we go. So those are 4 new Pokemon. Sounds.
Yeah, these were better looking than some of the ones we've seen.
Yeah,
well, except for the
designs.
so yeah, not the previous, not the what was it, Kyurem, Mr. Toilet Paper Man. But yeah, the other ones were nice. They put more effort into the cute ones. I'll be honest. They put more effort into the cute ones, and those usually look better. They have more coherence to them. Whereas the menacing ones, I don't know, maybe they just try too hard, and so they just look like a smorgasbord of stuff. But there's no consistency. Kyurem is just like literally pieces of frozen milk stuck to a T-Rex.
There you go. If you just look at it like that, what's wrong with it?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it,
frozen milk stuck to a T-Rex.
But it just has no heart.
I don't know what to say. They made black and white too, and that's who they decided. I don't know. That seems heartful. It's a whole mascot Pokemon. They explicitly said, this is the Pokemon we want you to focus on in this game. And then they fused milk to a T-Rex. All right, well, that's a very holy episode of our podcast this week.
Why is it holy? Oh, because it's Sunday?
Well, no, because we talked about holes for 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. But it's Sunday as well. Holy in that sense.
It is.
Holy in the sense of Hellraiser.
Right. See, double entendre.
Triple.
Yeah. Triple.
And milk.
Yeah.
Milk. Some people worship milk.
Yeah, whole milk.
Whole milk. So
you also get whole milk. That's right.
Whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot of nothing.